Welcome to the Deep Dive. You send us the sources, we dig in, and, well, we pull out the key stuff for you, giving you what you need without all the noise. Today, we're looking at something I think a lot of us grapple with. It's turning those big ideas, those goals, into reality.
Yeah, how to actually make the change happen, not just think about it. Our listener really wanted to know how to bridge that gap.
Exactly. So we've dug into the work of the motivational speaker Jim Rohn, a really well-known voice in this space.
Right. We focused on two specific YouTube talks.
Yeah.
One called Force Yourself to Be Consistent, and another Transform Your Life with 6-Month Success Plan.
Catchy titles.
Definitely. And our goal here is to really pull out his core ideas on, building consistency and using a 6-month plan for real transformation.
Okay, consistency. Let's start there. It's that word everyone throws around, but
Yeah.
actually being consistent. That's the hard part. Ron says it's not really about talent, is it? Or even that first burst of energy.
No, not fundamentally. He sees it as the absolute key, the engine for any real progress. Doesn't matter how smart you are or how excited you are at the start.
It's the follow-through.
Precisely. He talks about how common it is to start strong, full of enthusiasm, but then it just fizzles out. And the problem usually isn't the wanting it part.
It's the sticking with it part.
Exactly. It's the lack of consistent action over time. And what's really interesting is his take that consistency isn't like something you're born with.
Oh.
Yeah, he calls it a skill, like a muscle, actually, something you have to consciously decide to build and strengthen.
Muscle. I like that. But it implies work, right? Sacrifice, dedication, commitment, all that stuff.
Absolutely, it requires those things.
Yeah.
And that bumps up against our natural tendency, doesn't it? We like comfort.
We definitely do. Pushing past that comfort zone is, it's uncomfortable.
It is. Ron totally gets that. Our brains are kind of wired to seek the easy path, the familiar routine. Sticking to something new, especially when it's tough, goes against that grain.
But he argues that's where the good stuff happens. The remarkable results.
That's exactly his point. The significant achievements, the real transformations, they lie on the other side of that resistance, that sustained effort.
Okay, so if it's a muscle, how do we train it? Ron gives us some principles, right? 3 main ones.
Yes, 3 core ideas for cultivating it. The first one is about having absolute clarity on your why.
Your reason for doing it.
But not just a reason, a deep, burning reason. Something that genuinely drives you, especially when things get difficult or boring or frustrating.
Because motivation fades.
It inevitably does. Ron argues that without that powerful underlying why, your consistency will just crumble. It's about connecting what you do every day back to your core values, your big picture vision.
That makes sense. If you don't really know why you're putting in the effort, it's so easy to talk yourself out of it.
It provides the resilience. So, step 1, find that compelling why. Really dig deep.
Okay, what's the second principle?
Accountability. And this is a big one because, let's be honest, we're pretty good at letting ourselves off the hook.
Yeah, masters of rationalization.
Totally. So, Ron really emphasizes the challenge of self-accountability. He strongly suggests building a support system.
Like who?
Mentors, maybe a coach, or even just, like-minded friends who are on a similar path. People who will cheer you on, sure, but also
Call you out.
exactly call you out on your excuses, keep you honest, keep you on track. There's something powerful about knowing someone else is watching or expecting you to follow through.
You don't want to let them down.
Precisely. That external accountability can be a huge motivator.
Okay, so a strong why and accountability. What's the third piece for building consistency?
Consistent intentional action. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's not just about wanting it or having support, it's about the actual doing.
The habits and routines.
Exactly. Consistency needs to be tangible. It's a set of behaviors you practice. Ron stresses needing a rock-solid system, daily routines that give you structure, because life is unpredictable.
Right. Things always come up.
They do.
Ooh.
So having that underlying routine helps you navigate that. And this leads into those practical strategies for actually building the habits.
Like starting small. I think you mentioned that.
Yes, start small. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Make it easy. Remove friction. Remove barriers to doing the thing you want to do.
And habit stacking. What's that again?
That's linking a new habit you want to build onto an existing one. Like if you already make coffee every morning, maybe you stack reading one page of a book right after you pour your coffee.
Ah, okay. So you piggyback the new habit onto an established routine.
Exactly. It makes it feel less like starting something totally new from scratch. These strategies are about designing your behavior, making consistency feel more automatic over time.
It sounds like it's about making it sustainable.
Yeah.
Because setbacks will happen.
Oh, absolutely. Ron acknowledges that perfection isn't the goal. The key is that commitment to keep showing up, to get back on track after a setback. That's where the real growth happens.
Okay, that covers consistency. Now let's shift gears to this 6-month transformation plan. That's quite a specific time frame.
It is, and he has a reason for it. He makes this really interesting observation. We tend to overestimate what we can do in a day, right?
Definitely. My daily to-do lists are often wildly optimistic.
We all do it. But then, he says, we drastically underestimate what we can achieve in 6 months.
Huh. That's interesting. 6 months. Why that
It
length?
calls it the sweet spot. A year can feel too far away, you lose the urgency.
Right, it's easy to procrastinate.
And a month often isn't long enough to see really substantial change. 6 months, though, gives you what he terms realistic urgency.
Realistic urgency. I like that. Enough time to make a difference, but close enough to feel motivating.
Exactly. And a key part of this is realizing success isn't about doing a million different things. It's about doing a few fundamental things, but doing them consistently.
Repetition. Consistency.
Right. Repetition builds the skill, consistency builds the success.
So within this 6-month plan, he lays out quite a few keys, doesn't he? Like 13 or even more.
Yeah, he explicitly mentions 13, but touches on others too. It's a comprehensive framework. The very first one, clarity, again.
Echoing the consistency principle, but for the 6-month goal.
Precisely. Be crystal clear on what you want to achieve in those 6 months. No vague stuff like get healthier or make more money.
Be specific.
Super specific. Increase income by X amount, read Y number of books, lose Z pounds, start this specific side business. And crucially, he says, write it down.
There's power in writing it down.
Definitely adds commitment.
Okay, clarity first. What's key number 2?
Your philosophy of life. This is a big one. It's about how you process what happens to you.
Not just what happens, but your reaction.
Exactly. Ron says it's your response, guided by your philosophy, that truly shapes your future. Success, he argues, is just the natural result of consistently applying basic, sound fundamentals. Your philosophy is like your operating system.
But those simple things, they're easy not to do.
That's the catch. So easy to do, but just as easy not to do. That's where the discipline, guided by your philosophy, comes in.
Makes sense. Key number 3 is the power of association. That idea that you become the average of the 5 people you hang out with most.
Yeah, that one hits home for a lot of people. Ron is very direct. Be intentional about who you spend time with during these 6 months.
Seek out the good influences, limit the bad.
Pretty much. Increase time with inspiring people, people who are growing. Decrease time with those who drain you or pull you down. He thinks most people just don't commit to excellence in their associations.
Interesting. Okay, number 4, the discipline of documentation. Keeping a journal, tracking things.
Yes, like being your own scientist. Track your progress, your habits, your insights. He uses the example of reading just 10 pages a day.
Right, that adds up.
It adds up to maybe 6 or 7 books in 6 months. Documenting shows you that cumulative power, and it's also about tracking the person you're becoming, not just the tasks you're doing.
Which goes on personal development.
Oh.
Got it. Number 5 is the power of investment. Investing in yourself.
Correct. Books, courses, seminars, maybe coaching. He makes a big distinction between formal education like school and ongoing self-education.
Learning shouldn't stop after graduation.
Absolutely not. He points out how we'll easily spend money on, entertainment or immediate gratification, but hesitate to invest in things that could fundamentally change our lives. Self-education is key for this 6-month push.
Okay. Number 6, the miracle of incrementalism.
Yeah.
Small steps adding up.
Yes. That 1% better every day idea. It sounds tiny, but over 6 months, that's like a 180% improvement. It compounds.
Wow.
Success isn't usually about huge leaps. It's built on those tiny, consistent, smart choices day after day. Don't look for the one big break. Focus on the small daily wins.
That's powerful. Number 7 is the power of goals. Setting big goals, then breaking them down.
Exactly. Set goals that stretch you, maybe even scare you a little. But then, and this is crucial, break them down into daily, manageable activities. Connect the big vision to the daily grind.
Okay. Number 8, the power of environment. Your surroundings matter.
Hugely. Ron says you need to consciously design your environment, your home, your workspace to support your goals. Make the right actions easy and the wrong actions hard.
Behavioral design, essentially.
You got it. You might not reach your destination overnight, he says, but you can change your direction overnight by changing your environment.
Okay, number 9. The power of standards, raising your expectations for yourself.
Yes. Your life tends to move towards what you tolerate, what you accept as normal. So consciously raise your standards in your health, your work, your relationships, everything.
We live up or down to our own expectations.
That's the idea. Set a higher bar for yourself.
Number 10. The power of rituals. Daily routines again.
These are the building blocks. Establish rituals that directly support your goals. His example, wake up an hour earlier. Over 6 months, that's 180 extra hours.
Wow, that's significant.
It is. Make the days count through intentional rituals. Turn desired actions into habits.
Accountability is number 11. We touched on this with consistency, but it's key for the 6-month plan too.
Absolutely. Performance improves when we know someone's watching or when we've made a commitment to someone else. Find that partner or group.
We do more to avoid letting others down sometimes.
It's a strong motivator. Use it.
Number 12. The power of recovery. Bouncing back from setbacks.
Because they will happen. It's inevitable. Success isn't about never falling. It's about getting up one more time than you fall down. The key is recovering quickly. Don't let a slip become a slide.
Resilience. Okay, 13 is the power of focus.
Where focus goes, energy flows. Be laser focused on your priorities for these 6 months. He also stresses that habit keeps you going, not just motivation.
Motivation is fleeting. Habit is reliable.
That's the core of it. Cultivate intense focus on what matters most.
And you said there were even more than 13.
Yeah, he weaves in a few others that are really important, like the power of celebration.
Celebrating the wins along the way.
Don't just wait for the big finish line. Acknowledge the milestones, the progress. It fuels motivation, reinforces the good habits.
Makes sense. What else?
Study success. Actively learn from people who've already achieved what you want to achieve. Books, podcasts, seminars, observing people.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Yeah.
For things to change, you have to change, and learning from others accelerates that.
Okay.
Then there's the power of contribution, adding value to others. Ron says success without contribution can feel empty.
Gives it meaning.
It does, and he makes a link. Your income and impact rarely exceed your personal development, so grow yourself to give more.
Interesting connection.
Also, compete with yourself. Try to be better today than you were yesterday. Focus inward on your own progress, not outward comparing yourself constantly to others.
Healthier perspective.
Much healthier. And the power of decisiveness. Make decisions quickly and change them slowly, thoughtfully. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Every decision shapes tomorrow.
Progress over perfection.
Exactly. And finally, the power of gratitude. Actively appreciating what you have. He suggests a gratitude journal.
How does that help with transformation?
It shifts your focus. It turns what you have into enough, fostering contentment. And Ron believed that what you appreciate appreciates. It attracts more good stuff into your life.
A lot to unpack there, but the big picture seems clear.
Yeah, the core message is really powerful. These next 6 months are going to pass anyway.
Right. Time marches on whether we act or not.
So the question is, where do you want to be in 6 months? You have the power to decide that now and start acting on it.
It feels empowering, actually. He's saying it's within reach.
Completely. Everything needed is available. The crucial thing is just making that decision to start.
Okay, so wrapping this up. What Jim Rohn is really telling us through these talks is that consistency is the foundation. You need that clear why, the accountability, the daily actions.
That's the bedrock.
And then this 6-month plan offers a really practical, structured way to make significant changes, using all those keys: clarity, philosophy, association, all the way through to gratitude.
It's a roadmap, a comprehensive one. So for you listening, maybe take a moment. Think about all these principles we've discussed. Is there one, maybe two, that really jump out at you?
Something you could actually start implementing, like today or tomorrow.
Yeah. And maybe consider this final thought. Which specific piece, maybe it's clarifying your why, or finding an accountability partner, or just starting that 10 pages a day habit, which one feels most resonant right now?
And how could really committing to just that one thing change where you are 6 months from now?
Exactly. Something to think about.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Jim Rohn's wisdom. We hope it gives you some valuable tools for your own journey.